Mr. Piyush Goyal, thank you very much for joining me on Frankly Speaking. Pleasure to have you. And आपकी जो स्माइल है ये बता रही है कि आज आपने 8 सालों बाद देश को खुश किया, इसलिए आप भी खुश हैं. The GST reforms, the BJP has said they came within 20 days of the Prime Minister's announcement from the ramparts of the Red Fort. But the Congress party says you're 8 years too late. How do you look at it?
मोदी जी जो कहते हैं वो करते हैं. I think Prime Minister Narendra Modi over the last 11 years has very patiently, consistently and in a very systematic manner taken the economy from very low levels that the Congress had left behind, a fragile 5 economy, to the world's top 5. Soon to become the 3rd largest in the world, through a very, very calibrated approach to reform. And in some sense, the announcement yesterday, I think, is the largest transformational reform this country has seen in the last maybe 6 or 7 decades.
6 or 7 decades, but many people have said that the entire GST system, the number of slabs that were there, was a very complicated system. It was supposed to be one nation, one tax. It became, as Khadgeji has pointed out, it became something like one nation, 9 taxes. Do you think these reforms which have come today could have come earlier to simplify both the lives of the common man as well as the MSME sector?
I think Kharge ji ho, Rahul ji ho, they don't realize what GST had replaced in 2016-17. At that time, there were a plethora of taxes, levies and duties, more than 35-40 of them. And the aggregate value of their various taxes was at different levels. The state governments were at that point of time largely run by the opposition party. This is before we came in and started ruling
winning
over most
elections.
of the...
Winning all
after
elections.
Modi ji won 2014 and took leadership of the party and the country. And we had to ensure revenue stability, revenue continuity. And in hindsight, it's very easy to say this should have been done earlier. But the fact is, when it was done, a consensus was forged, and not an easy consensus. Congress couldn't do it in 10 years. But Arun Jaitley ji, under Prime Minister Modi ji's guidance, achieved what was considered impossible. And promised to compensate states for 5 years, which Congress was never willing to do. And therefore, the different rates were necessary. Having said that, every rate was fit into a slab, which was lower than the then prevailing cumulative taxes. So if a product like cement, let's say, the aggregate tax, excise duties, sales tax, central sales tax, octroi, all of them put together was coming to 31-32%. We fit it in 28. And now with the growing economy and with the growing GST collection, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was able to actually reduce it drastically to 18%, which will give a big boost to the middle class home ownership dreams. So I think this has been a very consistent, calibrated process. In 2018, so many products, hundreds of products, the taxes were reduced. So it has been a continuous process, but what Prime Minister Modi did yesterday was truly a game changer.
So let me ask you, Piyush Goyal ji, राहुल गांधी और कांग्रेस पार्टी का कहना है सरकार आपकी है, सिस्टम उनका है. ये सारी चीजें जीएसटी उन्होंने सोची थी, आपने लागू की. ये जो 2 स्लैब्स हैं उन्होंने कब से बताए हुए हैं, वो तो राहुल गांधी का कोई पुराना ट्वीट भी डाल रहे हैं कि राहुल गांधी का ये रिकमेंडेशन था. आपने अब जाकर उसमें मेरिट देखा है और उसे किया है लागू. मैं पूछना चाहती हूँ, वाकई सरकार आपकी है, सिस्टम उनका है?
एक प्रकार से राहुल गांधी जी अपनी नाकामियों के बारे में खुद को सर्टिफिकेट दे रहे हैं, क्योंकि उनकी राज जब इतने वर्षों तक चली, उन्होंने तो बजाय उनकी सरकार के पारित किए ऑर्डिनेंस को आप मीडिया के सामने फाड़ के अपने खुद के प्रधानमंत्री जी की बेइज्जती करना, उसके अलावा तो उन्होंने कोई अचीवमेंट देश के सामने रखा ही नहीं है। तो मैं समझता हूं कि राहुल गांधी जी जो नहीं कर पाए उसको आज एक कवच में डाल के कोशिश करते हैं बताने की कि हमारी सोच थी, वो सोचते रह गए। मोदी जी करने में विश्वास रखते थे और हर एक चीज मोदी जी ने जो की है उससे आज जो देश में एक पूरा उल्लास का माहौल है, पूरे जो उत्साह का माहौल है, जिस प्रकार से 140 करोड़ लोग विकसित भारत 2047 की तरफ तेजी से आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, गरीबी 25 करोड़ लोगों की खत्म हुई है। आज जीएसटी के इस परिवर्तन से पूरे 140 करोड़ हर व्यक्ति को जीवन में फायदा होगा। ऐसा एक व्यक्ति नहीं है पूरे देश में जिनको इन सब चेंजेस से कुछ ना कुछ लाभ, कम ज्यादा हर एक को लाभ होने वाला है।
कुछ लोगों का ये भी कहना है कि ये थोड़ा पहले कर देते या अब थोड़ा सा रिइंबर्स कर दीजिए लोगों को, क्योंकि आम यूज की चीजें, खाने पीने की चीजें, टूथपेस्ट हो, टेबल पर लाने वाली सामग्री, इन सब पर जो टैक्सेस आपने 18% रखे हुए थे, 12%, अब आपने 5% किया, पहले कर देते। हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, सोशल सिक्योरिटी बहुत ज्यादा मिडिल क्लासेस के लिए है नहीं इस देश में। आपने हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस पर इतनी लंबी चौड़ी जीएसटी लगाई हुई थी। ये थोड़ी पहले अगर होता तो क्या होता?
जब कुछ चीज मिल जाती है थोड़ा लालच भी आ जाता है कि ये थोड़ा और पहले मिलना चाहिए था। उस दृष्टिकोण से आपकी बात देखी जाए, ये
लालच की बात है।
लालच की बात नहीं है, लालच ये आता है कि ये मिल गया तो उसके बेनिफिट्स, उसका लाभ तो मिल ही गया, पॉकेट में आ गया। मैं समझता हूं आपको ध्यान रखना होगा, जैसे मैंने कहा कि उस समय भी सर्विस टैक्स था, सब इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसीज पे सर्विस टैक्स लगता था। तो उस समय के टैक्सेस रेवेन्यू मेंटेन करने के लिए राज्यों के और 14% हर वर्ष 5 साल के लिए गारंटी करना था कि उनको उतना मिलते रहेगा, और कोविड के समय भी दिया गया। और जब तक वो पूरा रिइंबर्समेंट नहीं हो जाता है तब तक इतना बड़ा बदलाव शायद संभव भी नहीं होता। आखिर ये सब निर्णय कंसेंसस से लिए जाते हैं। कल के भी सब बदलाव कंसेंसस से हुए। कई हमने प्रस्ताव पहले रखे हैं जीएसटी काउंसिल में जहां विपक्षी दलों ने अपोज करके हमें करने भी नहीं दिया। कई बार आपने देखा है पहले के दिनों में। तो मैं समझता हूं कि जिस प्रकार से प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने देश की अर्थव्यवस्था को समय के अनुसार समय समय पर लोगों को लाभ देने का काम किया, इससे जनता में खुशी की लहर है। 12 लाख रुपए तक कोई टैक्स, इनकम टैक्स नहीं लगेगा इस साल के बजट में, आपको ध्यान होगा। तो एक ये कंटिन्यूअस प्रोसेस रहता है मोदी जी का कि लोगों तक लाभ पहुंचे, लोगों का जीवन और अच्छा हो। और अब तो ये शुरुआत है, अब तो और बहुत सारी चीजें मोदी जी के ध्यान में आई हैं, उनके मन में है कि हमें और बहुत सारे बदलाव इस देश में ला।
लोगों का ये भी कहना है कि शायद 2024 से पहले आप मिडिल क्लास, जो बीजेपी का सबसे बड़ा सपोर्टर माना जाता था, वो उस क्लास को थोड़ा आप भूल गए थे। अब ये जो बजट के दौरान आपने कहा टैक्स ब्रेक्स मिले, अब ये जीएसटी रिफॉर्म्स आए हैं, क्या मिडिल क्लास की दोबारा याद सताने लगी है? क्योंकि इस बार के चुनाव में नंबर सीटों के थोड़े घट गए थे।
परिस्थिति आर्थिक किस प्रकार से डेवलप हुई है उसके आधार पर लाभ देने का काम और हमारी क्षमता बनते रहती है। अब आपको ध्यान होगा कि इन्फ्लेशन, महंगाई आज 1.55 पे आ गई है, लोएस्ट है। वर्षों में इतनी कम महंगाई की दर नहीं रही। फिर ये करने के लिए समय लगा, ये करने में बहुत मेहनत लगी, ये करने के लिए बहुत कदम उठाने पड़े। तो ऐसे समय पर हर एक चीज उस समय की आर्थिक परिस्थिति के हिसाब से तय होती है। आप लोग के लिए चुनाव का परिणाम और उसके चश्मे से देखने के एक आपकी तरफ से जायज है, आप सोच सकते हैं उस तरीके से। तो मेरे व्यक्तिगत अनुभव से मैं कह सकता हूं, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने, अब मुझे 11 वर्ष हो गए उनके नीचे काम करते हुए, उनके मार्गदर्शन, उनकी सोच को देखने के लिए समय समय पे मुझे अनुभव मिला है कि प्रधानमंत्री जी ने हमें एक ही गाइडेंस दी है, चुनाव के हिसाब से निर्णय लिए जाएंगे। देशहित, जनहित और भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था को मजबूत बनाने के लिए जो हमारी एक पूरी गेम प्लान है उसके हिसाब से निर्णय लिए जाएंगे। कभी भी चुनाव को मद्देनजर रखते हुए मोदी जी निर्णय नहीं लिए।
So let me ask you some of the important questions. US President Donald Trump called the Indian economy a dead economy. Rahul Gandhi parroted the same lines that yes, Indian economy is a dead economy. Today, when these reforms have been set in motion, how would you look at the economy and how would you respond first domestically to your opposition audience and then internationally?
मुझे लगता है कि राहुल गांधी जी के पास खुद की समझ और सोच थोड़ी कमी है। राहुल गांधी जी ने समय समय पे हमारे ऊपर अलग अलग आरोप लगाए हैं। उनको ये ख्याल में नहीं है कि जो इकोनॉमी उन्होंने हमारे लिए छोड़ी थी वो 4.3 या 4% पे ग्रो कर रही थी। आज हम विश्व की सबसे तेज गति से आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। उनको ध्यान में नहीं है कि उनके समय बैंकों की एकदम कमजोर हालत थी, देश के पास विदेशी मुद्रा फॉरेन एक्सचेंज की कमी थी। वो शायद भूल रहे हैं कि उनके समय एक के बाद एक रोज कोई ना कोई बड़ा स्कैंडल, कभी कोयले में घोटाला, कभी टेलीकॉम में घोटाला, कभी अंतरिक्ष में घोटाला। उन्होंने कोई मौका नहीं छोड़ा भ्रष्टाचार और घोटाला करने का। उसके सामने अगर आप मोदी जी के 11 वर्ष देखिए, साफ छवि, ईमानदार सरकार, ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस के ऊपर लगातार सबकी नजर और उसके हिसाब से कामकाज, लोगों का जीवन सरल हो, ईज ऑफ लिविंग हमारा धैर्य रहा है। एक के बाद एक आर्थिक कदम ऐसे उठाए गए कि आज हम ना सिर्फ एक मजबूत फास्टेस्ट ग्रोइंग इकोनॉमी ऑफ द वर्ल्ड है, पर साथ ही साथ फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व्स रिकॉर्ड हाई, एफडीआई रिकॉर्ड हाई, स्टार्टअप्स कल्पना के बाहर काम कर रहे हैं। लगभग 2 लाख स्टार्टअप्स देश में नौकरियां दे रहे हैं, उद्योग और उद्योजकों के लिए नए अवसर बन रहे हैं। इन्वेस्टमेंट बहुत तेजी से इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में भी हो रहा है, प्राइवेट सेक्टर नए फैक्ट्रियां लगा रही हैं, आत्मनिर्भर होते जा रहा है भारत अलग अलग चीजों पे। कभी सेमीकंडक्टर भारत में इतने बड़े रूप में बन पाएंगे और पूरा उसका इकोसिस्टम तैयार होगा। एप्पल के फोन भारत में बनके पूरी दुनिया में जाएंगे। जिस प्रकार से एक के बाद एक क्षेत्र पकड़कर प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने देश को मजबूत बनाया, मैं समझता हूं वो राहुल गांधी जी के समझ के भी बाहर है और शायद उनको ईर्ष्या भी होती होगी।
You think he is jealous?
100%। इस टाइप की पॉपुलैरिटी प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के जो है देश और दुनिया में, उससे स्वाभाविक है कि राहुल गांधी जी को तो बहुत परेशानी होती होगी, क्योंकि उनको तो लगता था कि उनके परिवार का ही हक है हर एक चीज पे। उनके मन में तो एक सेंस ऑफ एंटाइटलमेंट घुसी हुई है।
But he has made a huge charge on your government, on your party, of vote chori. And that is the biggest plank in the elections, forthcoming elections in Bihar. वो कह रहे हैं कि आपने फिक्स कर दिया है सिस्टम को। पीयूष जी, आप हंस रहे हैं।
कंफ्यूज्ड पर्सन। हर कुछ समय के बाद इलेक्टोरल रोल्स रिवाइज होते ही हैं। मैं खुद लोकसभा लड़के आया हूं और लोकसभा चुनाव के पहले समरी रिविजन्स होते हैं। इंटेंसिव करने के लिए बहुत मेहनत, बहुत लंबा समय लगता है, तो हर चुनाव के पहले नहीं किया जाता है। पर चुनाव के पहले हर पार्टी को कहा जाता है कि कोई लोगों की मृत्यु हो गई है तो उनके नाम डिलीट हो, नए लोगों की जन्म हुई है उनके नाम जोड़े जाएं, कोई लोग शिफ्ट हो गए वो नाम निकाले जाएं। पर वो एक छोटे समय में पूरी तरीके से इलेक्टोरल रोल बन नहीं पाते। तो जैसे 2003 में इंटेंसिव रिवीजन हुआ था, वैसा ही अब इंटेंसिव रिवीजन हो रहा है और अब देश भर से आवाज उठ रही है कि हमारे यहाँ पे भी इंटेंसिव रिवीजन करके इसको सफाई की जाए। अच्छी बात यह है कि अब टेक्नोलॉजी का भी सहारा हमें मिल गया, तो फटाफट पता चल जाता है किस किस के डुप्लीकेट वोट है। और अब तो आप देख रहे हैं किस किस टाइप के कांग्रेस के नेताओं के नाम आ रहे हैं जिन्होंने 2-2 वोट रखे हैं। कोई बताएं कि वो 2-2 वोट क्यों रखते हैं। मुझे तो इसमें यह भी समझ में आ रहा है कि 1 नेशन 1 इलेक्शन क्यों ये अपोज करते थे, कि उन्होंने शायद इतने डुप्लीकेट वोटर्स और ये वो बना के रखे हैं कि अब परेशान अस्वस्थ हो रहे हैं कि उनका वोटर अब बीएमसी इलेक्शन में भी वोट डालने कैसे जाएगा। अगर एक बार बिहार में वोट डाल दिया, कई लोग हैं बिहार के जो मुंबई में भी रहते हैं, बिहार का चुनाव होना है, मुंबई में कॉर्पोरेशन चुनाव होना है, तो शायद कांग्रेस पार्टी अस्वस्थ हो रही है और उनके मित्र दल भी कि जो जो उन्होंने अलग अलग गलत काम इतने वर्ष चलाए उस पर पर्दाफाश हो जाएगा इस इंटेंसिव रिविजन
पर। ये काम पहले भी हो सकता था, वोटर रिविजन
समय के बाद इलेक्शन कमीशन का दायित्व है।
एकदम वो कहते हैं, हिंदी में कहावत है ना कि बारात दरवाजे पे आई खड़ी है, इलेक्शन आया खड़ा है। उस वक्त ये इंटेंसिव
पहले से प्लान किया होगा, ये कोई आज किया तो हो नहीं सकता है। रिकॉर्ड्स डिजिटाइज किए होंगे, रिकॉर्ड्स को पब्लिसाइज किया। ये रिवीजन आज थोड़ी हो रहा है, रिवीजन कब से चल रहा है, आप भी भूल गए क्या?
मैं राहुल गांधी नहीं आपकी प्रतिस्पर्धा राहुल गांधी के साथ है, मेरे साथ योर कॉम्पिटिशन फॉर वोट्स इज विद मिस्टर गांधी एंड अदर ऑपोजिशन लीडर, सर्टेनली नॉट विद मी।
कॉम्पिटिशन का है नाविका जी, देश की जनता ने मन बना लिया है कि शायद ये रॉकेट कभी लॉन्च होके टेक ऑफ तो होना नहीं है। तो अब देश की जनता ने मन बनाया कि हमें एक विश्वस्त, निर्णायक, देश हित और जनहित को प्राथमिक रखने वाला और संवेदनशील नेता चाहिए, और मात्र नरेंद्र मोदी इस देश के दिल के धड़कन।
I agree with you to the fact that majority people who vote in this country have chosen the Prime Minister, no doubt. But you also cannot deny the fact that the opposition vote share has increased in the last elections and the BJP's has declined. Even in the number of seats, it is reflected. You can't wish it away. You'll have to look at it, address it, and analyze it.
Nalika ji, I never wish away anything. But you will also agree that you cannot deny that soon after that, whether it was Maharashtra, whether it was Haryana, we have swept the election.
That's because you fixed the election system according to the opposition.
That's because during the Lok Sabha, they successfully created a fake and false narrative and a little bit of a fear in the minds of certain sections of society, which was completely baseless. And then they saw through this design of the Congress of taking them down the wrong path. And they came out in large numbers in a response to the fakery of the Congress and the India Alliance partners, to give them a reply कि आपने हमें भ्रमित किया, ये गुमराह किया, झूठ बोला। एकमात्र नेता जो आज भी इस देश में महात्मा गांधी के सिद्धांतों को लागू कर रहे, बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर के सिद्धांतों को लागू कर, जिनके दिल में संवेदना है गरीब के लिए, जिनके दिल में संवेदना है वंचित पीड़ित समाज के लिए, जो वर्षों वर्षों से कांग्रेस की वजह से पिछड़ा रहा, वो एकमात्र नेता जनता समझ गई है, नरेंद्र मोदी।
Is vote chori a similar game changer, narrative changing attempt?
Well, that narrative only will help नरेंद्र मोदी जी, क्योंकि इन्होंने ऐसे आरोप तो 11 वर्षों में क्या 25 वर्षों से लगाए जा रहे हैं। आप पिछले 25 वर्षों के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के गुजरात के शासन और केंद्र के शासन को देख लीजिए। इन्होंने समय समय पे बेबुनियाद झूठे आरोप बार बार मोदी जी पे लगाने की कोशिश की। जनता कोई विश्वास नहीं करती है इनके ऊपर। जितनी बार वो गाली देते हैं प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी को, प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी की मां को, उनके परिवार को, जितनी बार वो मोदी जी के ओबीसी होने के ऊपर उनके ऊपर गलत लांछन लगाने की कोशिश करते हैं, हर बार कांग्रेस और उनके मित्र दलों को मुंह की खानी पड़ी।
Mr. Piyush Goyal, you're the Commerce and Industry Minister, and let me talk in the global context. Where do you find yourself? Headwinds that we are facing, the geopolitical challenges that we are facing, how do you look at them and how do you address them as a minister on a daily basis?
Well, India has always converted every adversity, every situation into an opportunity. Whether it was, if you look back, 2000, when the millennia was to change, the Y2K bug, the world thought the sky is going to fall on their head. India grasped that opportunity, and today our IT sector is recognized all over the world as the talent provider to businesses. The global financial crisis hit the world. Indian business private sector stood their ground. COVID, the worst pandemic in a century. Under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership, we not only became Atmanirbhar in several areas, we not only reached out to the people and ensured that all the naysayers were proven wrong, but I've never looked back since then. The economy is on a roll. Fastest growing economy ever since post-COVID. This time around also, I can assure you, India's exports will be higher than last year. Our trading relationships are expanding across the globe. The European Commission and we are in active negotiations for an FTA. We are working with Australia for a second tranche of an FTA. I have launched negotiations with New Zealand, which should end before the end of the year. Oman FTA will be announced in the next few weeks. Chile and Peru FTA is under active negotiation. There are other countries who are waiting to start negotiations. I don't have the bandwidth. Eurasia terms of reference have been finalized. With the US, we are talking about a bilateral trade agreement which is to be finalized by fall, which is by November of this year. So India is across the world looking at trading partners with whom we can do fair, equitable and mutually beneficial trade agreements. We are open to fair deals. We are open to working with the developed world and providing more and more opportunities for our businesses, which will ultimately translate into a wider good of the people of India.
But 50% tariffs from the United States of America. Is this our Y2K moment?
Every moment that causes some volatility, some uncertainty, is a moment for this country to grasp. And I can assure you, we are all, whether it is the business community or the ministry, the whole of the government is working in conjunction with the private sector. We are looking at trade diversion across the world to expand our trade with other friendly countries. We are looking at a greater share of consumer demand in the domestic market. After all these GST reforms, almost every item of public good, every item that the common man uses, textiles, footwear, pharmaceuticals. This morning I was with the entire pharma industry at Bharat Mandapam. They are so excited. Almost everything that the pharmaceutical industry produces, the life-saving drugs, the medical equipment, so many things have received significant benefit. Machinery required by our industry.
Distract attention away from the extremely vulnerable, or should I say challenging situation that we are faced with the United States?
You will appreciate that this level of work doesn't happen overnight. This is the labor of love of over a year of hard work put in to make these GST reforms, transformational reforms possible. So situations come and go. We work consistently for the good of the people of India.
I want to ask you a very, very personal question. You've handled this ministry now, I think, over a decade. Did you expect 50% tariff to be announced by Trump?
We are open to all situations, and we take all situations in the stride.
I know that,
and we will find solutions to the situation.
You think there is a solution in sight?
Of course.
Is there a back channel where you can see some warmth? Because from this side of the fence, everything seems like Alaska cold.
Negotiations don't happen across news channels and with the media.
But the last round was postponed without a new date. Is there an engagement?
Happens very often. Postponement. I have postponed so many visits of mine to so many other countries. My team sometimes I'm not able to send for negotiation. This is.
Are you confident about the November deadline that you yourself have announced?
It's not a deadline. It's an aspiration. It's an aspirational date which was decided in February when Prime Minister Modi and Honorable President Trump met in February, long back. At that time, they had guided both the teams to work towards a fall 2025 deadline.
Are you on track?
I think I think India is very much prepared to be able to complete it by that time.
ये जो duet था ये solo song में हो गया. आप बार-बार कह रहे हैं India is committed to it. You know.
No, I keep hearing from the American side also so many statements which say that the trade deal should happen sooner than later.
Every morning when you wake up, do you have a flutter कि आज Trump ने क्या बोला होगा?
No, every morning when I wake up, I have a delicious juice and then a cup of tea with fruit with my wife.
Okay, so Trump doesn't feature in your thoughts early morning or a little mid-morning because that's the time they wake up and make statements.
I think he's a respected leader of the world's largest economy and a democracy, a developed nation. And therefore, we do not believe in referring to senior leaders or their work in terms of day-to-day comments. We look at long-term sustaining relationships.
And the relationship, has it suffered a few setbacks in recent times?
You're a married person just like me. Every relationship occasionally may have a blip.
Is it a marriage with the United States of America?
Certainly. You heard it very recently when we had the 2+2 dialogue. Very recently. That this is a very consequential relationship.
So the spouse is just acting tough for the moment?
I think again, as I said, this is a relationship.
When you
are looking, you know, I gave you an analogy. I didn't say it.
Okay.
I said I talked about an analogy. I think serious relationships at an international level have to be respected.
And the question that is being asked is the Prime Minister has just returned from the SCO summit. There is one picture that has done the rounds and has become the most viral picture, the biggest takeaway from that meeting, where the Troika, Putin, Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Modi are holding hands, and there is this very easy body language and conversation that's going on. Is this a relationship where we are going back to the era of RIC, Russia, India, China? Are we seeing more focus on that? Or is this only a message to the United States?
This is a question better asked of the Foreign Ministry, because neither was I there and neither am I. This was a Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting.
Yeah, so you get to know the weather on the other side.
More a geopolitical discussion on a variety of subjects, but you must have noticed that we got the Pahalgam terror attack into the final joint communique, which was a very big achievement. And
without mentioning Pakistan.
But Pakistan was sitting on the table there. And they have accepted a joint communique which has condemned terrorism, cross-border terrorism, condemned the Pakistan incident, and I think that's a big victory for India.
So, Mr. Piyush Goyal, the question many are asking is, November, which is a statement you yourself made, are we looking towards a little bit of a thaw in the current stalemate?
Well, at the present moment, we are more concerned to see how our domestic market can get a great fillip with the GST coming up on 22nd September. The first day of Navratri will be celebrated with great joy by all of us. We will be praying to Ma Durga, and at the same time, I think all of us will be out there in the market looking at some new clothes at a lower price, a new pair of shoes at a lower price, some very good agricultural equipment for the farmers at lower prices. We'll be looking at
you can read the whole list, I'll wait.
Beauty salon products at a lower price. We'll be looking at medicines at a lower price. The list goes on and on.
Also,
I think there's so much.
बुलेट मोटरसाइकिल जो राहुल गांधी चला रहे थे, उसका भी दाम कम कर दिया है, in honor of Rahul Gandhi.
Well, we encourage everybody to drive two-wheelers, and all two-wheelers up to 350 cc will now be at a lower rate, which is a great boon for our youngsters, I think all our young men and women will be
Mr. Gandhi?
celebrating. Well, I think when we make policy, we don't exclude anybody. We are not the Gandhi family who looks only about themselves. We look after everybody, including the Gandhi family.
So let me ask you the question that Mr. M.K. Stalin, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, has been asking. And he's talking about Tirupur. You went to Tirupur recently. In fact, there was a full team of journalists who accompanied you, including Times Now journalists. Tirupur is an area that's going to face a lot of problems because of the tariff issue with the United States. He says Tirupur is suffering because refinery owners in Gujarat are gaining because a windfall gain for them enabled by the government of the day is something that has created a situation.
Well, I think the respected Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu does not know his own people and his own state well enough to understand the mood in Tirupur. Tirupur is probably one of the finest examples of entrepreneurship, is one of the finest examples of bold business persons who have captured markets across the world. They are not centric to one market. They export all over the world. They export to the European Union. They're extremely excited about exporting to UK, EU, Switzerland, free trade agreement, Switzerland, Norway, Liechtenstein and Iceland, the four nations.
Finland has also stood by you.
Will be starting on 1st October. The FTA will now become effective on 1st October, 1 month from now. Australia, Japan, Korea, the opportunities for our business persons are across the world. Simultaneously, now with garments up to 2,500 per piece, getting only 5% excise duty benefit. And Tirupur, by the way, makes very, very high quality products at affordable prices. And the government of India is connecting our exporters who may be affected with domestic users. So, for example, I talked to the Tata Group at the highest level. I requested them to sit with our textile industry, garment industry, using their, maybe they have 1,000 outlets all over the country, 700, 800 or 1,000 outlets. Can they pick up this high quality product and make it available for Indian consumers at affordable prices? And Tatas, as usual, were very forthcoming and very, very supportive of the idea. So we in government are working with innovative ideas. Mr. Stalin is only berating rather than taking any action.
You did answer his direct question on the Gujarat refinery.
It's below contempt to answer that.
Let me also ask you, are you confident that there are enough new opportunities? Because in one of your interviews, you did mention that there are new opportunities that are emerging. What are these new opportunities?
What can be the biggest opportunity than this?
For exports, if I were to ask you?
There is opportunity in the domestic market and there is opportunity in export. 2 days back, or rather 4 days back, the UAE Minister, Dr. Thani Al-Ziodi, was in India, in Mumbai. We had 2 days of extensive discussions. And he helped connect us with the two sectors which are significantly impacted right now, textiles and shrimp. He's helped connect us with people in UAE who can help us look at a large market all across Africa. People don't realize Africa is an importer of $45 billion worth of textiles. Many countries in Africa are importing fish. The Gulf countries are importing fish. Today's Singapore meeting was there. The Singaporeans said they would like to look at high quality fish there. They find the Indian fish very delicious. And I'm soon going to mount a mission to go to Singapore. On 18th, I'm leading a delegation of Indian business persons for a high-level task force to discuss with United Arab Emirates how we can increase investments in India and how we can increase exports to India. I don't know if you have seen the numbers since the FTA with UAE, which was the world's fastest negotiated FTA, less than 90 days. In 88 days, start to signing, finish. The trade with UAE has gone up by leaps and bounds. Oman FTA will be settled very soon, few weeks now. So I'm just trying to tell you the world is opening up a larger canvas. आपको याद होगा अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी ने क्या कहा था कि जब कोई छोटी लकीर हो तो उसको मिटाने के पीछे समय मत बिताओ, उसके बदले एक बड़ी लंबी लकीर उसके साथ खड़ी करो. प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी लंबी लकीर खड़े करने में विश्वास करते.
You know, that is a sentence that actually encourages a whole generation of people and sets a new paradigm. And I, वो वाजपेयी जी की इस वाक्य को याद करके कई बार रोंगटे भी खड़े हो जाते हैं. पूछना चाहती हूँ आपसे कुछ रैपिड फायर क्वेश्चंस जल्दी जल्दी में, क्योंकि आपके पास हमेशा समय की कमी होती है. पहला सवाल आपसे that I want to ask you is Russia or US?
We are friends with all countries around the world.
This show is called Frankly Speaking. You have to speak frankly. दिल की बात, मन की बात कही. रशिया और यूएस?
भारत विश्व का मित्र है. वसुधैव कुटुंबकम को आप भूल नहीं सकते.
Who's India's all-weather friend?
I don't think India needs to choose one friend over the other. India can have many friends.
एक पहला फोन कॉल किसको करेंगे? हर इंसान का एक दोस्त होता है जिसे वो पहला फोन करता है. दो लोगों को इकट्ठे नहीं करता.
समय के अनुकूल जिस का फोन लाइन बिजी ना हो उनके साथ पहले बात हो जाती है.
Just for trade, you would choose other partners or even otherwise strategic relationships?
India has now built strategic relationships across the world. I don't know if you are aware, the German minister, foreign minister was here probably yesterday. And such wonderful meetings we had, celebrating 25 years of a strategic partnership with Germany. The EU Trade Commissioner is going to be here next week. The Singapore Prime Minister is here today. As I said, UAE Minister was here 4 days back. भारत multi-dimensional, multilateral सोचता है. समुचित सोच अब भारत की नहीं है. मोदी जी विश्व के नेता बने.
Okay. Choose between Mr. Putin, Xi Jinping, Trump.
I think India is a country which keeps friendships, which sustains relationships, and which works with many parts of the world, has friends across the world. Your effort to create differences or
My
differentiate...
effort? What have I done?
I mean, the question...
What have I
will
done?
not deter
I
us,
didn't impose tariff on you.
will not deter us from our friendship with everybody.
But I'm only asking the questions based on what everybody, the world is watching and seeing.
And the world appreciates India's stand, where we continue to labor to try and bring Mr. Zelensky and Mr. Putin on the same table, because we believe the war is not
but Trump
good for
thinks
the
you're
world.
financing the Russian war.
Well, the world recognizes India's efforts to end the war. The world recognizes India as a friend to all.
BRICS or Quad?
I think each such grouping has its own importance and own relevance. Each has a different agenda. BRICS is more an agenda of the global south. The Quad is talking about greater relationships for a stronger Indo-Pacific. Everybody has their own significance and importance.
Your response to Rahul Gandhi's allegation कि सरकार आपकी सिस्टम उनका?
As I said, बहुत कम समझ वाले लोगों को समझाना बड़ा मुश्किल होता है. For us, it is a relentless pursuit from 26th May 2014 till today and onwards in the Amrit Kal towards Viksit Bharat 2047. We have changed the story of India across the world from a fragile 5 to a top 5. By 2027, the third largest GDP in the world. Fastest growing GDP today, 7.8% in Q1. Uske baad, who will believe Rahul Gandhi's fakery and comments which are below contempt?
The present relationship with President Trump, a hiccup or a roadblock?
It's a sustaining long-term relationship.
You still believe in it?
I think so.
On that note, thank you very much, Mr. Piyush Goyal, for being so forthcoming. But clearly, I think we need to sit down for one of those podcasts where the guard is not so high up there, where you just relax, where you just share the insides of what goes on in policy making. Someday, sometime, promise me you'll do that.
Well, I have been as frank as I can in frankly speaking. And today, of course, we are celebrating the biggest reform of last 75 years, the GST, which has completely changed the plethora of taxes to one tax, and in a very systematic manner over the years. With today's transformational reform, Prime Minister Modi has shown to the world how intelligent, smart policy making can make India a superpower. And I think this will be a red letter day, a milestone announcement yesterday. And I thank the Honorable Prime Minister. I thank his vision, his commitment to the people of India. And I think the entire country today is celebrating the outstanding work done by Prime Minister Modi and the outstanding outcomes of the GST Council meeting yesterday.
Happy festive season coming up. Also, there is a bit of oxymoron there. The opposition says that Modi ने पहले announce कर दिया, बाद में meeting कराई, fait accompli हो गया. So, is this a consensus that was actually given to them by force, or is this a consensus that was worked out yesterday?
I think the opposition doesn't even know how the GST Council works. There are a group of ministers of all different parties, opposition and government, who have been working on all of this. Group of secretaries from different states, including West Bengal and Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, working on all of this, as I said, for over a year and a half. I think it started even before the elections. So it's sad that they are so ignorant and they are so confused that inside the meeting, they praise Nirmala ji and accept the consensus. They want this to happen. The first chief minister to come out and announce this was the Himachal Congress chief minister, who said by consensus we have approved all the GST changes. And then, of course, their leader, who's in any case clueless, tries to criticize it. So it's a very sad, sorry state of affairs that we have an opposition as disparate, as confused, and as clueless to what is good for the country, what is good for 140 crore Indians. But I think the people of India understand. हमारे भारत की जनता बड़ी समझदार है, समझती है उनके हितों की चिंता, उनका संरक्षण प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के हाथ में है. बहुत ही कुशलतापूर्वक तरीके से 11 वर्ष चला है और आगे वर्षों तक हम प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में देश को नई ऊंचाइयों पे लेके जाएं.
Well, we are not the noisiest and the largest democracy for nothing. Thank you very much, Mr. Piyush Goyal,